of love, hope, and healing. We are a real people with a real praise. Broken, hurt, lost or in bondage, sick or in despair. Come to the place where you can be free, healed and found. Greater grace, greater grace, greater grace. And we are great strong.
Good morning, good morning. You know who it is. It's your man, Pastor Mac, coming at you this Good Friday, bringing you greetings for the Greater Grace Church, where the Bishop James E. Jones Jr. is the founder and senior pastor. This morning, family, I want to just take a little bit of your time to talk about balance. Last week, it was about changing it up. Week before that, I think I was talking about self-care and just doing things for yourself. So you kind of see a pattern that I'm sticking to. But without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. Family, we have to find balance. You know, I said over and over again, it's the difference between living and surviving. But we got to have balance. And a lot of us are being stuck, okay? We're being stuck in certain situations, certain jobs, certain environments. And we're not releasing ourselves to do something better or do something more appropriate for ourselves to be in a better position. So with that, you know, you say, well, I stuck with this job, you know, it makes ends meet, it, you know, it take care of this needs and that needs, but you're not satisfied. You know, that position that you have is not really fulfilling you. You have to find balance. And finding balance, you got to do certain things. If you don't like the position you're in, you have to change it. Well, Pastor, how we do that? If it's a job situation, maybe you go and find some kind of certification you can take to give you a little better balance in order to get that next promotion or that next pay raise. If it's about, say, dating, you got to find that balance, what you like. You don't know what you like or what you want if you stand in the house. We got to move around. And like I said last week, I said you got to change it up. And in changing things up, you will see the things that you need with things that you like, with things that you gravitate to. And you have to do certain things in order to get there, because the definition of insanity is the act of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. How many of us do that? You know, not calling you crazy, Pastor, not calling you crazy, but how many of us do that? We just get in a routine and we keep repeating the same routine, thinking that something else is going to happen. And that's the definition of insanity. And what we have to do, we have to get balance in our life. We have to get outside of our box. We have to do things that we wouldn't usually do. From a personal aspect, I never saw myself here 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But the things that I was doing, I said I have to change. So what did you do to change, Pastor? I went back to school in my 40s. I went and got my degree. Okay, I went and I wanted more peace. Grab this in the spirit. Now, I'm retired military, 20 years. I have my degrees, but I had one of the most humbling jobs that I ever had in 49 years of life. Working down at the ocean, being a maintenance tech, right? And it's cleaning, it's sweeping, it's fixing light fixtures, it's all that, right? And you would say to yourself, well, with 20 years of military experience and your degree, why would you get a job like that? I asked God for that job because the job has no stress. With no stress, it brings balance in my life. That way I can focus on what God has me to do, what God has me to bring forth to the people. If I steady chase money, if I steady chase titles, Let me put it to you this way. What's the man that gain the world but lose his soul? Now, I can run after all these things. I can have the biggest title. I can make some of the biggest checks. But if it's not fulfilling me and I'm putting on for the people, then I'm really not getting what God has for me. And a lot of us are like that. Because we want that title or we want that position, we lose the balance on our life. Well, I'm doing this job this weekend. I'm doing this. I got to get the money for this. I got to get the money for that. Now, understand, family, that money rules the world. The money runs the world. But it's not feeding your soul. Money is not feeding your soul. Okay, it's the bills. I get it. You know, it's the children's education, their clothes, the things they need. I get it. My baby is turning sweet 16 next month on the 26th, and God knows she wants some things. I get it, you know. However, it's things that I have to do prior to what I have to do for her. Like this job provides me to provide for her. But however, I can't get so tied up in the job that I forget my duties to myself, to my church, and to my family. It has to be a balance. It has to be a balance. How do you find that balance? You have to sit down. And what works for me is jot it down on a piece of paper. Everything jotted down. It makes it easier if you ever forget from time to time, look, what I'm supposed to be doing this week, or what was my goal for this month? It's right there in front of you. You just go back and revert to whatever you wrote and say, okay, I need to be doing this week. I need to be doing that next week. Balance, and it keeps you focused, because the trick of the devil is to keep us in chaos, to keep us chasing stuff that's certain stuff that's not attainable. It keeps us unfocused. That's the trick of the devil. Write it down, jot it down. It works out. It works out. I do it all the time. Notes here on that, notes on this, or whatever. And as you get older, you're going to have senior moments. You're not going to be able to remember everything. So, with all that being said, I just want to express to you deeply, every time, and I know you might be sick of me saying this, but I have to. Another good friend that I grew up with in the Camelot area, we just buried him. One of my high school teachers just passed. Matter of fact, both of their funerals was on the same day. Family, we're going back from which we came. It's what you do between the dashes. You got to have balance in your life. That way, you don't get so frustrated or you get overwhelmed with day-to-day tasks. Write it down on paper. See what takes priority. See the things that you can put off. That way, you never get overwhelmed and flustered. So this weekend, youth, I tell you to go out and have fun and enjoy yourself on purpose. This weekend, what I want you to do is sit down and jot out for the rest of the month. Let's make it simple. Start small. We just have a week or two left in this month. Jot down what you want to accomplish for the end of this month, going into May. Okay? Do that. Be purposeful in your life and your next move. Find balance. Balance will bring you peace, and peace will bring you joy. So go, be blessed. Thank you for tuning in always. I love you, and so does God. So go and have a great, great weekend. Jot down your notes. Be blessed.
You've been tuning in to Greater Grace Daily Programming. The church is located at 3709 Elliott Avenue, Portsmouth, Virginia. Join us for worship on Sundays at 10 a.m. and for Bible study Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
You can follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram at 757 No Place Like Grace, and on YouTube by searching Greater Grace Portsmouth. To sow into this ministry, you can give via PayPal, paypal.me/Greater Grace, or you can give through Givelify by searching Greater Grace, Portsmouth, Virginia. We also have Cash App, $GGCWFA 2009. And if you prefer mail, you can send all gifts and blessings to P.O. Box 13514, Chesapeake, Virginia 23325.
For more programming like this, join us Mondays via our conference call line at 7 a.m. for Motivational Monday, Refuge Night with renewed worship at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, and Fire on Friday with Pastor Matt, Fridays at 9 a.m.
Thank you for listening. Our Bishop, Bishop James E. Jones Jr., and leading Lady Lisa are grateful for your continued faithfulness. Remember, there's no place quite like Grace because of the people in Grace. And together, we are Grace Strong.